Hi there. In this video I'm just going to try and demystify a little bit the assembly and disassembly of the chromatic harmonica. On a chromatic harmonica there's a few more parts to the instrument than of course on a diatonic harmonica, which is a very simple instrument. And a lot of people who buy chromatics find them rather intimidating in terms of disassembly and trying to do work on them. But actually they're not that difficult, but you just got to take everything slowly, step by step. This is the Suzuki SCX48 chromatic harmonica, and first of all I'll show you how to remove the cover plates. So what you need to do is just put your finger on one of the base of one of the screws and get your Phillips screwdriver and start undoing the screw like that. Now it's very easy to lose these little pieces, so put them carefully down on the table so they don't roll off and fall on the floor. And we do the same with the other end. Hold your finger there and remove the screw, put it down, and then you have the two cover plates removed, just a matter of seconds. Now the best thing to do with these screws is put them inside the cover plates so that they can't get lost. The next items to remove are these things here, which are the cover plate supports, and they simply pull out like that. Again, put them inside the cover plates so they don't get lost. Now this is about all you need to do to fix a lot of harmonica problems, is just remove the cover plates and put them back on again. So that's quite an easy thing to do, I'm sure you'll agree. Okay, so now we have the cover plates removed, and you can see on the top of each reed plate you can see these little white strips. Those are the wind savers or valves. And you can also see these reeds here. Now these reeds are the draw reeds, the ones that sit on the outside. So if I suck on a note, that reed will vibrate. The long ones make the low notes, and the short ones make the high notes. And the same on the other side. The chromatic harmonica has got double the reeds of a normal diatonic harmonica. And the slider shifts the air between the reeds in order to get the full chromatic scale. If you just want to deal with wind saver or reed problems, that's all you need to do. Remove the cover plates and then you can deal with them and replace the cover plates. But I'm just going to show you how to disassemble the entire instrument and then put it back together again. So the next thing I'd want to take off would be the mouthpiece. This is held on with two screws, one at either end. Now just put your hand over the mouthpiece just to steady everything, and gently unscrew these little screws. Just remove it a wee way like that, and the same like that. Now this should just lift off. So this is your solid mouthpiece, and inside we have the two mouthpiece screws, and these have tiny little buffers which the slider rubs up against. I don't know if you can see those, but they're just tiny little clear rubber buffers, and those are very important, so just don't lose those, or else things won't work as they should. So try and keep all those bits together if you can. Now this is the actual slider itself, which you can see has got holes which your air goes through. So put that away for safekeeping. And this is what's called the back plate, and this rests on the front of the harmonica for the slider to rub on. So basically that's a three-piece slide assembly, it's called. A solid mouthpiece, a slider and the back plate. So that's very simple to do. Okay, finally we'll remove the reed plates. Now these are held on with these reed plate screws here, and so all you have to do is unscrew them. Again, make sure that you put them away somewhere safe so you don't lose them. Again, I'll just put them inside these cover plates. And it really only takes 30 seconds or something to remove these, and then the whole harmonica will be disassembled. Okay, that's all the reed plate screws removed. Now we can gently lift off the reed plates. Be very careful when you move these reed plates around, because these little wind savers are very, very delicate. It's very easy to damage them if you knock something. Just put the reed plates on your table, the top reed plate and the bottom reed plate. You can tell which is the top and bottom because they have a little groove in there at the front, which is where the cover plates sit or locate themselves. So there's the two reed plates, the slider mechanism, the mouthpiece mechanism, and the comb. Now inside the comb here we have the slider spring. I won't remove that right now, but that can be removed as well and replaced. Now if we want to put the whole thing back together, we have to there's a few things to really take note of. Now let's put the reed plates back on the comb. As I said, there's a top reed plate and a bottom reed plate, and it's important to get those in the right place. The top reed plate has the long reeds there with the groove on top, and the long reeds correspond to the long comb slots. Now you'll see that these reed plates have got quite a strong bow in them. I don't know if you can see that. It's quite a pronounced curve. And the reason for that is to make them sit tight on the comb when the harmonica is assembled. So when you press down at either end, or when the screws hold down either end, the reed plates sit very firmly on the comb. Start putting with one screw at one end, but don't screw it in more than a few turns, just very lightly. Same thing at the other side. Just very lightly. Now the reason for that, as you'll see, is that it will help us locate the reed plates with the front of the comb. It's very important that this surface here is really flat and flush. You'll see the slider is sticking out the front here. So take the assembly unit and put it on the edge of a surface so that the slider spring is over the edge, and then very carefully just hold it down and tighten these two end screws. Don't tighten them too much, just finger tight. Okay, now that's located the front of the reed plates with the front of the comb, so it should be nice and flat now and flush. Now all you have to do is replace the other screws. Again, just finger tight, not too tight. If you do them too tight, you'll buckle the reed plate, which is bad for air tightness because the brass of the reed plate will bend slightly where you've over tightened the screw, and it'll lift the reed plate away from the comb, and then you'll get air loss, which is not a good thing in any harmonica, especially a chromatic harmonica. So you can see it only takes a few seconds to replace the reed plates. Now the next thing we'll do is replace the mouthpiece and slide assembly. So you get your back plate first, and you put it on the front of the combs. What you can do at this point, if you want to, is use a kind of a gasket material, something like Vaseline or sort of a lip kind of thing, and you can put a little bit of a gasket material between the back plate and the comb just to give it that extra little bit of sealing quality. But that's not essential because your moisture from your breath will do that in time. Then you get the slider, and you simply put the slider on the back plate and locating the little slider hole in the right place. And just make sure the slider is dead straight. This one looks very good actually. If the slider is bowed or bent, you're going to get problems with sticking sliders. So then that sits like that. Finally, get your mouthpiece hopefully with the screws and the little buffers still in place, and locate the side away from the slider button first, and just rest it down like that. Then lightly locate this screw, not too tight. Now just jiggle things around a bit to make sure everything's in place, and move the slider a little bit to make sure everything's good. Hold the slider button in slightly and locate the other screw. Don't do anything up too tight at this point. And now we'll just adjust the screw so we get a good level of tightness. Basically, if you adjust the screws too far, the slider will bind. It's actually starting to bind there. It's getting a little bit stiff. So pull the screw back a bit until it moves nice and freely. That's the mouthpiece replaced now. And finally, we just put on the cover plates again. We get the two cover plates. The bottom one normally doesn't have much writing on it. Put that on the underside. And the top plate has the numbers and the big name on the top. Put that on the top with the slider on the right. Just locate the two cover plates with finger pressure, and then get one of your female screws, put it in the slot there. Now this bit can be a little bit fiddly, so just take it easy. Drop the male screw in there and just tighten it very, very lightly. Just a few turns of the screw. Now this is often the very trickiest bit, is getting this one in. Hopefully I'm lucky. Okay, so that's engaged. Now just before you tighten them up all together, make sure the cover plates are looking nice and even, and then hold your finger down on one side, tighten, and the same on the other side. They need to be fairly tight because, as I said, when they're tightened down, they really put pressure on the front of the reed plates. So there we go. That's the reassembled Suzuki SCX 48 Chromatic.